Hey Kaiju fans, so this is going to be the last video in a series about the Toho Eiga Godzillas. So if you've been following along, I basically went through each of these Godzillas, starting with the 1954 one over here, 1963 Godzilla vs. King Kong. This one's Godzilla vs. Mothra 1964. This is the Heisei 1991-92 Godzilla. And then you have finally the 95 Burning Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Alright, so I think I do have a few overall comments about all these figures. So as I probably alluded to a few times in the other videos, I bought this entire thing as a set from a local kind of hobby store in the Southern California region, probably before 2000. All these figures came out in 1998 as, I guess you would consider, a set. They both all have Toho Eiga etched on their foot, and there is a copyright associated with it as well. So I would like to believe that they're all probably legitimate, but at the same time they could very well be knockoffs. I don't know for sure. I really like this set because it's kind of a walk through all of Godzilla's history, at least the sort of significant points here. And each of the figures has very sort of distinct features, starting with the first one, the 1954, kind of gray, and then you go to 63, kind of a greenish hue, more robust, maybe menacing. And then when you go to the 1964 Godzilla, a lot of cool action poses, and which I think is kind of neat. And then we shift over to the Heisei Godzilla. Certainly the length of both the 91 and 95 version are quite nice to look at. So, you know, all in all, if you take a look at kind of the whole picture, very distinct Godzillas, very distinct designs over the years, and all certainly have their own sort of charm. Another thing I do want to call out here is the fact that I think all these, in some way, shape, or form, were based on Kyoto kits, just because I think I've seen Kyoto kits from the 90s with each of these sculpts, and so I'm not sure if that was supposedly maybe a reproduction of those, but maybe for more of a mass market audience. So as I already mentioned, these figures kind of represent a hybrid between toy figures, sort of meant to be knocked around, not necessarily particularly detailed, but also they all kind of skew toward the model realm as well because of the build quality. It's certainly a little bit more upgraded than you would imagine. And as I already mentioned, it's kind of uncertain whether these are knockoffs. You know, again, I bought them as a set, assuming they were sort of legitimate, but they are Toho Eiga. Certainly, if you have information, feel free to share. And there are some, you know, inconsistencies with these figures as well. Certainly, you know, I think the joints aren't particularly well positioned and seamless. They're pretty prominent. There's glue that sort of pours out all over the place, and there are some paint inefficiencies as well, as I already pointed out. So kind of a mixed bag, and you know, to each their own, but I guess was happy I was able to acquire the entire set. Alright guys, so that kind of wraps it up here. That concludes the whole Toho Eiga Godzilla series. And then, like I mentioned in a few other videos, if you guys have any insights about the origin of these figures or the backstory, I'd love to hear it. I just don't know much about it other than me purchasing it well over 25, 27 years ago at this point. So yeah, if you like this content, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And for those who don't know, we do have our own shop, KaijuKingdomCollectibles.com, for Godzilla fans by a Godzilla fan. So head on over there and hopefully you'll find something that you like. So yeah, until next time, take care.